I'm Bruce Stillings, Big Game Supervisor, North Dakota Game and Fish. We were pleasantly surprised. We just finished up our recent annual pronghorn survey, and overall pronghorn are up about 30%. So that's really good news. If we rewind just a little bit, the winter of 2022-23 was one of the most extreme on record. So we saw about a 40% population decline, where this last winter was very mild and we saw a nice bump this summer. We had higher adult survival and then better fawn recruitment from the fawns that were born in 2023. So overall, a nice increase. We're going to have 1,265 licenses available for this hunting season, and that's 845 licenses more than in 2023. The buck-to-doe ratio remains stable right at that 31 bucks per 100 does. This year's fawn-to-doe ratio was 50 fawns per 100 does, which is slightly better than 2023, but still well below the long-term average. But population increases didn't occur across the board. Western Bowman, which is our prime pronghorn habitat, pronghorn in the Western Bowman management region actually declined about 10% this summer compared to 2023. And if you kind of look back the last few years, they've had some really tough weather conditions that have negatively impacted fawn production. In 2021 and 2022, they're dealing with extreme drought. And then in 2022, 2023, that extreme winter, both that can be equally as detrimental on fawn production. So it's what we've seen is a series of poor fawn production years. So you don't have those younger aged animals in the population. You don't have those prime aged reproductive does in the population. And so we're seeing that kind of dominoes effect of poor fawn production, in particular down in the Southwest. And so we've been able to open the 8 units that we closed in 2023. Those northern Badlands animals really made a nice jump. Hunting units 1A, 1D, 10A. And then areas outside the primary range and the secondary range east of Highway 85 also showed some nice increases, and we were able to open those units and provide a minimal number of hunting opportunities. 13A north of the Missouri River, we surveyed that area, had a nice increase. Very large area, not the highest density of pronghorn in the state, but certainly a substantial number of animals up there that can support a minimal harvest, so we open that area as well. It's a very extensive effort. We cover over 13,000 square miles within about a 10-day period. We have 5 aerial teams that are positioned around the western part of the state. It takes about 200 aerial survey hours to complete. This year we classified just over 1,200 groups of pronghorn. That resulted in about just over 7,000 animals. And that's the data we use to determine population abundance and demographics, which is expressed in buck-to-doe and fawn-to-doe ratios. So we get one chance to assess our pronghorn population, and so we've got very dedicated biologists that accomplish this task and know that the most comprehensive assessment of the population we can get is going to benefit hunting opportunities for our North Dakota residents. We'll start about July 1, and then we had to be finished up by the 14th of July to then have the proclamation completed by the 16th of July. We had assessed the population at this time because this is where animals are that will be there for the fall hunting season. They move a lot in the spring and fall, make movements weather related, but when they set up their home ranges for the summer And when we're assessing them in July, that's the population within a unit that will be there in October. We're not going to see them all, but on the same token, some of those animals that we maybe don't account for, we're still losing fawns through that period as well. So it probably balances out from some that you missed to some that are still getting removed in the population. And we're right on the edge of pronghorn habitat within the continent. So any setbacks with weather and habitat and our populations are going to show it the most. And so of course we're going to need non-extreme winters, and then the best habitat conditions that we can receive for fawning that summer. And so those are the two key variables that we're going to need to see stable to increasing numbers. The habitat that's on the ground, we don't have the native rangeland like South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, but the habitat that we have available, hay fields, the crops, rangelands, badlands, for the most part, all look really good. One thing that was eye-opening to me, I kind of thought we had widespread rain throughout the West and there'd be good vegetative conditions throughout the entire range, and that's not the case. There's some areas that are still really dry, especially down in the extreme southwest part of the state, and then some areas in the southern Badlands and even in the northern Badlands. So those nice rain showers in the spring and early summer, they weren't necessarily widespread.